Hello, welcome to Undisputed Boxing. We're here to review last night's action and also throw in some predictions for next weekend. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Leave some comments at the bottom. Always happy to interact, chat. So what did you make of it, Rick? Chocolatito versus Juan Estrada. 2.
Yeah, I watched it this morning and thought it was a really good fight. You know, I think it was one of those that they both like going at it. Both, like coming forward and having a scrap. And that's what materialized. Chocolatito seemed to start off the first round quite slow and then just jumped into life in the second. And then he seemed to tire a bit at the end. And I remember going into like round 10, he just seemed to drop a level. I think Estrada did as well, but he seemed more visibly tired, which is what we kind of said would happen. But during the fight, he couldn't seem to miss him with his right hand. Chocolatito, he kept landing that right hand.
Yeah.
Most of the time, he threw it on Estrada. And to be fair, they both showed, solid chins. And yeah, there was some couple of rounds where there's some exchanges going on. So I thought it was a great fight. I actually had it a Chocolatito win. Very tight. I had it very tight. I think I scored it 115, 113. I could see it's one of those fights where I wouldn't argue if someone saw that the other way around. I thought one of the scorecards was awful. Seems to be the case at the moment. You just have to get one scorecard that's just off key with everything. But yeah, I really enjoyed the fight.
Amazing fight. I was just just couldn't take my eyes off it. It was an awesome fight. I thought Chocolatito, I was really impressed with him. I just thought at 33, he's had 53 fights. Like an amazing career already. Like he's a living legend in the sport. Multi-weight division champion. It's like what else can he do? But I just thought he put on a brilliant performance, and I think it's such a shame that he didn't get the decision. I thought he won, not clearly, but not quite Golovkin-Canelo 1 level. But I do think he was. For me, I just thought he was a clear winner. I didn't actually score it. I just enjoyed watching it. But from what I'd need to score it obviously, but from what I saw, the eye test told me that Gonzalez won. I think CompuBox. I know CompuBox is sometimes misleading, but I had a quick look at the CompuBox figures, and it was clear. Gonzalez was clearly the more busier fighter. Landed a lot more shots, much better percentage.
Just some of the numbers from both of them. Just some of the numbers that they were throwing.
Yeah, they're stratospheric.
Ridiculous. Because I think he let himself down in that first round. I don't know what he was doing, and that shouldn't have been enough, to cost him the fight. But if he's to review it, there's that, and he did look. Even though he looked the more drained in the last couple of rounds, and whether that swayed the judges, I don't know. He looked the more plodder.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I did, and I couldn't argue with someone saying Estrada won closely. I just hate those ones that are just one, not the winner I saw it, and like half a mile down the road in terms of the scoring.
Yeah. But I'll take it. That's another prediction I've got right for this year. I did say Estrada.
Did I? Did we say on points? So I think I said on points.
No, I don't think you predicted it. I don't think you gave a prediction.
I look at that one
back. Anyway, I mean, would you like to see that again? I think there's a good chance that might be a rematch.
I think so.
It makes sense, wouldn't it?
There's fight last night. The Thai guy.
Rungvisai. Rungvisai is kind of waiting in the wings for the winner, I think. But
did he win last night? He fought last night as well.
Yeah, I actually don't know. I've not caught up on that yet. I don't know.
Yeah. I'd like to see it again. Because it's entertaining and it was close, and I feel that the wrong person won and that, and so yeah, wouldn't mind seeing it again.
Yeah, another, whilst we're doing results, I mean, we didn't predict this one, but David Benavidez is back in action. Not a huge win, but an 11th round stoppage of Ronald Ellis in the super middleweight division. I mean, it's great that he's just back in action now, because we need to see him in big fights, because I do think
What's the guy's name?
Ronald Ellis. Yeah. Anyway, 11th round stoppage. I think it'd be good to, as I say, it's good to just see him back in action. We need him back in, and fighting regularly. And he is a potential opponent for Canelo maybe next year. So it's good that he's back in action. Let's hope he's back in the ring again. He's had his problems outside of the ring, so maybe another fight in 3 or 4 months' time would be good. So yeah, that's the result prediction done. Or review. Let's do prediction for next week. Glowacki versus Lawrence Okolie, the Brit. Well, this is obviously long awaited now, isn't it? World title. Is this for the WBO title? I forget which title it's for now.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm glad he's getting his shot. He's still quite, Okolie is this is 16th or 17th. No, it might be less than that. Sure, this is quicker than Joshua did it in terms of number of fights. I'm glad he had that fight in December. Obviously working with who's his trainer again? But they're quite new together, aren't they?
Shane McGuigan.
Yeah, so they've had a fight under the belt together, and he looked a bit better in that and a bit tidier. I think that helps him. I predict that Okolie will win. I think it will go to points. I've got a feeling he's going to have some tough times in it, and I don't think it's going to be straightforward. And I don't know if he's going to have to come off the canvas, but I think he's going to have some ropey moments. I still think he can be a bit open sometimes. And a more experienced, high-level fighter. This is quite a big jump, I think. I don't think
massive. This is a huge step.
I don't think he's fought anyone. Yeah, I don't think he's fought anyone. You'd really normally want someone in between. Like Glowacki had someone recently that kind of went. He's been in a bit of a tough fight there, and he's got through it. If that was higher opposition, he'd come unstuck. Never really had that with Okolie. Okolie has got that big power. And the power does two things. One, it puts people into their shell if they can feel it. And two, it can knock out someone. But I don't know. I'm not. I sway towards Okolie on points. But it's one of those fights that anything could happen here. Okolie could clean him out because he's just got the power. But I could see Okolie getting beat. I could see Okolie. Not really seeing Okolie's chin either. So it's really hard to make a prediction of. It's a bit like when Usyk stepped up into heavyweight. There's there's things questioned, so it's hard to make a judgment. And I just don't think we've seen Okolie. I think he's going to have sticky moments, and I think he'll have times where he'll have to get through rounds. I'm leaning towards Okolie.
Oh yeah. So Okolie on points is the prediction.
But tough, and he may even have to get off the canvas.
Yeah. No, I'd probably agree with that. I think it's so difficult. I mean, Glowacki is tough. Like, he's only got 2 losses, and they're against the very top in the cruiserweight division in Bradis, and Alexander Usyk, I think, beat him on points. Glowacki, I think he stopped Marco Huck back in 2015. So he's been fighting at the very top level for 5 or 6 years. This is a massive step up for Okolie. But I think with those long limbs, it's very awkward to kind of get inside.
Yeah, he did get stopped then by Braid. I was looking at it now. I was in round 3, so he can be obviously hurt. And I'd say Okolie punches harder than Bradis, though he's obviously a bit messier. Yeah. So that's why you can see anything happening.
Yeah, it's very unpredictable. I think that's going to be Lawrence Okolie's career. I think his fights are going to be a little bit unpredictable. Sometimes a bit of a, but I mean, he has stunk the place out as well in a few fights with Isaac Chamberlain. Wasn't great. A couple of other, domestic fighters. They haven't been great. Is it Matty Askin? I think that wasn't a great fight. But yeah, I'm probably going to lean. So difficult.
What makes me lean towards Okolie is I think he's had fantastic sparring.
Hmm.
He didn't have a long amateur career, but yeah, because he got a bronze medal, but he's had some fantastic sparring. And though I've never seen him get tested in the ring, I'm leaning on the fact I reckon he's been tested in sparring a lot. I mean, he's fought AJ loads of times in sparring. I know it's sparring, but it's still, I think it can bring you on. I think Joshua did so well because he had great sparring. As I think you'll learn a lot. So it's what's making me sway that he's been fighting the likes of Joshua in sparring and all those people for a long time.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think I'm probably going to lean towards. I'm going to take my Brit head off. I'm going to go Glowacki on points. But it is going to be. I do think it's going to be close, and I think he could potentially rock him. But yeah, I think it'll be a tight fight. Glowacki on points, and then I think they'll call a rematch, and then maybe he'll get it done in the second fight. I just think it's a bit too early against somebody as seasoned like Glowacki. And I guess it makes it a little bit more interesting that we've got opposing predictions again.
I think you've done that on purpose. Your mindset will be, well, I'm already up anyway, so if I lose this one, it's no big deal. But if I win it, it's more ridiculous.
I was actually thinking that. I was like, I'm probably about 4 or 5 up on Rick on predictions. So let's just make it a little bit more interesting.
I only started going down here this year.
Sorry?
I've only started going down this year. I've had about 2021.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good start for you. Let's just say that.
There's plenty of fights to get it back.
Yes, there is. I think May is already looking very good, stacked out. We've got some big fights to look forward to in April as well. So yeah, okay. Tune in for more predictions, more reviews.
We've still got fights for Povetkin this month.
Yeah, so that's a couple of weeks now, isn't it? Not next week, but the week after.
Well, next week, we'll do the prediction for it next week.
Okay. Just a quick snap. Just a quick one. Where are you leaning on that? Are you Dillian White or Povetkin? Really?
Oh, I think we've touched on this before. I think I'd like to know what I said going into that fight. I had it quite tight, but I always lean towards White in that first one. I lean a little bit more towards him. My mind's gone more towards him than the fight, which is, I don't know, because of what happened in the first fight. But what happened in the first fight, I always didn't shock me. It was always the way for me he was going to get beat. A sneaky punch, because that's what he's good at. And I think now, if anything, it's warmed me more towards it. I'm also very, clear as anything that White can hurt him. And I just think, it's another 7 or 8 months on, and that's no good for someone who's aging.
Yeah.
I think the risks for White is that he listening to him, it's hard to know where he's going to be. I mean, he was boxing quite well, and he had him down twice, and he could have gone in for the kill and didn't, and then he just got caught. He might then end up just going in for the kill and getting caught.
All right, we'll do a proper breakdown and prediction for that for next week, right? Okay. All right, okay. Awesome. Enjoy your run. Thanks to everybody for listening, and we'll see you next week.